morning. So you guys should be getting ready to read the close read of Scarlet Ibis. Now, this is one of the things we would normally do in class, so you're going to have to give me a hot minute. It's going to be a little bit of a long video. But if you follow along, it will really help you with doing the assignment, okay? So what a close read is we really focus on one small section of any particular thing that we're reading. And then in addition to that, we focus on some really specific things so we can really dive into it, and then we can dissect it and talk about it as a group. Okay, so usually what I do in class is I assign various things that we're looking for, and then all of one group is going to look for that particular thing. And then, another thing, a whole group is going to do that. Okay, so usually there's like 6 or 7 groups, and then, all of group 1 is looking for, similes or whatever. Okay, but this time, since we're on virtual, it's best if we do it this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with annotating. We're going to start with page 7 of your TDQs on here. And if you look at it on the bottom, it has the page number right here. You're going to start with that, and you're going to start on page, what did I say? Start on page 7, beginning with the last line, which is the summer, okay? And we're going to go to where it says page 10, ending with Doodle's quote, "All right, I won't," and you're going to annotate the following things, okay? So if your last name begins with an A and goes to a letter K, you're going to do the first 3 annotations, okay? And then if you are L through Z last name, you're going to do annotations 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, I know that seems like it's unfair because, the second group has more, but if you look at number 2, the annotation is asking them to annotate 3 things. So technically, if we really look at things, group 2, I wrote it down wrong. Group 2, it's labeled as group 2, is going to end up doing more because they have to do the similes, metaphors, and all of that. Okay, so what that means is when you guys are looking at it, let me edit that right now while I'm thinking about it. So this should be group 1. And nope. 1. There we go. And group 2. I'm going to save that. And let me go to second hour. Hold on. Okay, so what that means then is you're going to go to your TDQs, okay, in your whole Scarlet Ibis. So we're going to start right, where's page 7? Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Okay, so page 7, we're going to start with that summer. We're going to start right here, okay. All right, so already you should have marked up, you should have all things that are foreshadowing, okay, and that is in, what did we do? We did foreshadowing in blue. You should have nature and setting in green, and then when things where things take place is in green, and when things take place is in orange. So all of those things should be annotated, okay? So now our group, let's see, what did we say? Group 1, you guys are gonna go through and you guys are gonna you're gonna underline anything that is referenced to blood, dying, withering, anything like that. So if we look in this first paragraph, we've got the word withered. So that is, something is withering, it's like dying. So we want to actually, I'm going to move myself here. We want to annotate that by underlining it, and then we're going to change that font to red. Okay, so now that we have that done, we've got the word withered done, and that would be an example of anything that is dying, that's dead, that has blood referencing to it, anything like that. So you're going to do that throughout the whole section for that part. The next part is similes, metaphors, and similes, apparently, again. Personification is what it's supposed to be. So you're going to go through, and I'm trying to find my section. All right, so on page 8, there is an example when he says, I got to find the paragraph. Excuse me. I gotta find it in here. Hold on, I'm gonna hit pause. I was already on it. That's why I was confused. Okay, so if we look at this, in May and June, there was no rain and the crops withered, curled up, then died under the thirsty sun. Okay, a sun can't be thirsty, so this is an example of personification. So on this little pen thing, we're going to take that and we're going to highlight it in yellow. Okay, one morning in July, a hurricane came out of the east, tipping over the oaks in the yard and splitting the limbs on the elm tree. That afternoon, it roared back out of the west. Okay, so can't roar. So we're going to highlight that in yellow. Okay, so that's what you're doing with the personification and the figurative language. Last thing you're going to do is any kind of character motivation. So one of the things in this short story is that brother is motivated by pride and by being ashamed of his younger brother. Now, the thing is that he makes it sound like he's doing it to help Doodle, but he's really doing it because of pride. So what we want to do is we want to find any kind of character motivation, and we want to underline it in purple. So the first thing I did is when he tells him, lays him on a guilt trip. Okay, so this part where he says, "Oh, come on, Doodle, you can do it. You want to start school, don't you?" Okay, so I hit underline, and then I change that to purple so that I know that that has to do with character motivation. Okay, so that's an idea of what group 1 is doing. But you're going to do that throughout the whole thing. And I'm not done. That's just one example of each. So you got to do that throughout the whole thing. But you guys can get together and do group chat or whatever and work on all of that. Okay, so now we're going to look at group 2. What you guys are doing is you guys are going to underline in green any references to weather. So if we look back up here, it says that summer 19 was blighted in May and June. There was no rain. We're going to underline that. So this little U right here. And then I'm going to go with a darker green. If I do it this light green, it ends up being a little bit hard to read. So, and then the crops curled up, then died. Okay, so died right here. I know that for my group 1 people, I can do that in red. I've not changed to red. There we go. Okay, one morning in July, a hurricane. All right, so we've got some more weather there. So we're going to annotate the weather. Okay. The next thing you're annotating is references to birds. You're going to underline in blue anything that references birds. Now, a lot of that is going to come when we read about the ibis itself. So here we've got back up there. Yeah, we've got that afternoon back on a blue hawk. Okay, so a hawk is a bird, and then a chicken. That is also a bird. Okay, so we're going to underline that in blue. All right, so that was our next thing. Then you're going to highlight in orange any conflicts. So things that are kind of, her orange was our when it takes place. So you guys are actually doing, let's see. You should be underlining in orange. So that would be conflicts. So in this section, What really motivates brother, or what's difficult for brother, and the thing, I mean, it's motivation, but the conflict, the thing that he's struggling with, that's conflict. Remember, in your lexicons, you guys wrote about conflict, or you should have been keeping up with conflict. Okay, so anything that is showing two forces against each other is where we're going to have conflict. So we have conflict when he refers to, we came to the close of seasons, school was only a few weeks away and Doodle was far behind schedule. So that is a conflict because they've got to get Doodle ready. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to underline that in orange. Anytime there's other conflicts, whether it's between the brother and the weather, or, whatever it is. And then the last thing is any symbols. So we know what the big symbol is, right? Scarlet Ibis, because it's the title of the story. So we're going to look for any things having to do with any symbols, but let's just go straight to the Scarlet Ibis. Okay, so right here, it's a great big red bird. This would be an example of a symbol. So we're going to highlight that in purple. Okay, so there's a couple of other symbols if we go back to the section that we did together. First of all, often the summer of 1918. 1918 would be a symbol because it is the year that the end of the Civil War occurred. So this, I want to make that a lighter purple. This end of this inner war that brother is feeling to make his brother, be more normal is going to end at the same time. So we have the Civil War, or not Civil War, World War I ending at the same time that his own inner war stops. That would be an example of a symbol. Do I expect you to pick up on every symbol? Absolutely not. So you just find what you can and you go, I think this might be a symbol. So go ahead and highlight that in purple, okay? So my group 1 people, you are doing references to blood, death, dying, anything like that is in underlining in red. You're going to highlight all similes, metaphors, personification in yellow. And then you're going to underline in purple anything that has to do with character motivation. Like, why does a character do what they're doing? Why does brother force Doodle to do things? Why does Doodle follow? Why does Doodle, kind of, bury the bird so gently and all of that stuff? So that's what you want to underline. Okay, so that's group 1. Group 2, you guys are underlining in references in green to any references that have to do with weather. So rain, hurricane, storms, summer heat, anything that has to do with weather. You're also going to underline in blue anything having to do with any kind of birds. Any birds, you're going to underline in blue. And then you're not going to highlight in orange. You're going to underline in orange any conflicts. So anything that shows that the brothers are kind of conflicted with each other, or that they're having conflicts with things outside of themselves. Remember, external and internal conflict. And in purple, you're going to highlight all symbols. So anything that you think might represent something else, I want you to go ahead and highlight that in purple. So, for example, the seasons are always symbols. Remember, we talked about that at least in one of the lexicon videos we did. Okay, so that's what you're doing, and those are due not tonight, but tomorrow night. And then we will share out as a large group what we have, and then hopefully annotate the whole thing together. And then from there, kind of go, well, what was that all about? Why did we do that? And figure it out together. Okay, sorry this video was long, just trying to explain it. Annotate what you're supposed to be doing with your group, and if you want, get together in a hangout or whatever and help each other out. Okay, great. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.